Good evening. I call this meeting of the Gloucester Community Preservation Committee to order at 6:01 PM on Monday, March 17th, 2025. In accordance with state open meeting law, this meeting is being held in person and also available online as a Zoom meeting. It is being video recorded. If you are remote and using Zoom on a computer or device, there is a raise hand button that you can tap or press to request to speak. If you are calling in on a phone, you can press *9 to request to speak. Committee members in attendance tonight include Bill Cuff, Carrie McKenna, Bob Whitmarsh, Kate Parsons, myself, Matt Lundberg. Joining us remotely is Sean Henry. Expected but not yet here is Jennifer Lee Levitz. If she does arrive, we will recognize her at that time. Not in attendance tonight are Harry Hoaglander and Rob Gullah. And with that, we are ready to open the meeting. First item on the agenda is to review and approve the February 24th meeting minutes, which Zoe distributed via email a little while back. And I recognize Jennifer Lee Levitz, who has just joined us. Hello.
Hello.
I'll make a motion, we can discuss if necessary.
Yes.
So do I hear a motion to accept the February 24th minutes as submitted?
I have a correction.
Okay, so motion made, seconded, discussion, you have a correction.
Yes, the time that the meeting started was at 5:32, not 6:01.
Got it. So thank you. I'm glad you caught that, I missed that. I did review and everything else looked great.
Everything else looked great, you do a great job.
Thanks for catching that.
You're welcome. Great, we will belay the original motion. Do I hear a motion to accept the February 24th minutes as amended to correct the opening time to 5:32 PM?
I'll make that motion. Second?
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Against nay, unanimously approved. Thank you, Zoe.
I have to recuse, actually. I wasn't at the meeting, so
Thanks, Sean.
recusal.
Yep, great. So you got that, Zoe? 6 in favor, 1 recused. All right. The bulk of this evening's meeting is to review the 12 eligibility applications we've received for this calendar year. I'm going to review the process briefly, and then we can dive in. Tonight's objective, we will take votes on each of the 12 applications. The sole purpose of the votes tonight are to vote on whether we deem each application eligible for CPA funding. It's not necessarily about the merits or the lack of information. If the lack of information, if a lack of information means we can't make a determination about eligibility, then what we've done in the past, and I suggest we do here, is to postpone a vote on eligibility pending getting additional information from the applicant. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to stop and ask. I'm going to share my screen for this part, and so I've got a project spreadsheet, and I've got each of the applications running as well. Okay, so here are our applications. A couple of notes I'd like to make for everybody's benefit. These are 12 applications we have this year. 8 are from previous applicants. For those 8, I put the CPC contact from each of us who may have been their liaison in the past. That's not to say you need to be their liaison again in the future. In fact, I think it's good to rotate that, but I put it in there just to make sure you saw it. And I also grabbed the applicant contact information from the applications. Zoe, notice over in comments, there's 3 entries where it says bad phone number in the application. The phone numbers we've got here are correct. I don't know what happened, but there's an odd phone number in each one of them, so you can get after that.
Yep.
That'd be great. Okay, so I thought we'd go down in this order. and discuss each application and make and proceed. So let's discuss first, and then we'll make a motion, then depending on whether we move to postpone the vote or not. First up is, did I get these right? Yeah, first up is the ADA bathroom at the Cape Ann Amateur Radio Association building on 6 Stanwood Place. I'll throw my thoughts out on this one. So, this is the Cape Ann Amateur Radio Association. We know that they've previously received recognition from the Gloucester Historical Commission that the building is historically significant. And the overview of what they've said they are intending to do, in my reading, all falls within the guidelines for historic preservation. The only thing that I think is probably relevant is, Bob, I think the Historical Commission review of that building was probably quite a few years ago, 7 or 8. It was actually the last time they came before the CPC, right?
Could be, yes.
2017.
Yeah.
So that's 8 years. We should probably ask them to have you guys review it again, just in case they made other changes, or maybe it's not historically significant. Again, I don't know if historical significance can be changed if somebody does something outside of the Secretary of State's recommendations on historically significant adjustments to a place. So, but I think that should hopefully be a formality if they haven't modified the building that much.
Well, I can say that I live in a neighborhood and I watched this building go through the years. There really hasn't been any change, at least in the interior. But I would say that it's fine for us to review it and be sure that it's sure that it's still historically significant. It doesn't hurt to do that. Everyone needs to update it.
Right.
Just on the application for the purpose, they did have 2 things, preservation and rehab. So I don't know, so should we reach out to them and just tell them if they choose one or the other? Uncheck one, yeah.
So I was a little confused on this one. Because if you look at what they're gonna do, the project summary, it has a lot to do with the parking lot. All right, and again, you have to forgive my memory's not as good as it should be. As far as historical preservation, the fact that they're upgrading it to make it wheelchair accessible still qualifies for historical preservation, correct?
Yes, it does. Yep. That's under accessibility. And we've been through that before, most recently with the Magnolia Schoolhouse.
Right.
And a lot of what the parking lot stuff is about, or at least part of it, is to make available handicapped parking.
Right.
Right.
And be able to get to the ramp that's gonna take.
Right, so
It's better grade.
to do that, to do that, to do that.
So, I get the part about, and again, I would say the project, if I had a question mark, it's eligible from the standpoint of the building and accessibility. My concern was about the whole parking lot.
That's a fair question, I think. Because it's not part of the building per se.
Right. So,
I understand why they're doing it, I just don't.
Well,
I'm not sure.
that's how extensive the parking lot part of it is. If it's really primarily for the accessibility for the ramp, I think that would be considered part of that. But if it's just to create more parking spaces in general, well, that, if it's really that.
yeah,
then
consider one handicap space.
um,
Yeah, so I think we'll be
Yeah.
eligible, but I think when we do the application, we have to dig deeper to find out what they're actually spending the money on.
It may well be that only portion of this application is eligible,
Right.
right? I mean, they've got 6 items here.
What if you looked at it as the parking lot is so bad right now, it's just not safe for ADA. It's just not, so in making it accessible.
Make the walkway
You have to
come in.
kind of make the driveway at least even, or they have to do something to it.
And be able,
Not the
and
same.
be able to maneuver a car, be able to turn around and drive out of the parking lot if they need to.
Right.
It's an interesting question, but we can look at it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the building, so.
Yeah, it's not, the space out in front is not very large.
Right.
The building's small, it's not really a big wide lot, so there's not a lot of space there, and it's not set that far.
It's pretty lumpy, isn't it?
It is, and I think the whole thing here is given the unevenness and also get the right grade
Right.
to be able to bring the height of the parking lot up gradually enough to meet the handicap ramp. So they can get the right pitch all the way up to the door.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely questions that are going to get posed, but I think it's eligible.
Yes,
Yes.
I'd say so.
So we have to,
But we can actually have them clarify what extent parking lot is and if it's really that much connected to the handicap ramp.
So probably three to-dos here, whoever's gonna be the liaison, probably want to schedule a site visit on this one sooner. Schedule a site visit so we can hear what they're doing and then advise them. The other one is, I think, I'm happy to take this on, is to reach out to the CP Coalition and kind of review this concept. How much of this could be eligible? Is a parking lot expansion eligible? Or is it limited to just the handicap access? So maybe they can give us some guidance on
Right, we don't get to see with the size of the area that they're working in the parking lot. And I have a feeling it's really, really small. When I say that, the amount of work that's gonna be done is probably really ends up being in order to make it so that the handicap ramp is successful
Right.
at the end safe.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right, hold on a second.
When you go back, I'd just like to look at the money again.
Ask for 69,070.
All right.
Okay.
Actually, let me get that.
we have to make a motion.
Yeah, we do, but I'll do that because it's a little bit. I'll do a motion just as. Okay. Okay, do I hear a motion to vote that the ADA improvements to 6 Stanwood Place project submitted by the Cape Ann Amateur Radio Association for CPA funds in the historic preservation category is eligible?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a roll call vote. Bob?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Matt, yes. Jennifer Lee?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. CPA contact will be Bob. And we've got 3 action items. Bob, if you could schedule a site visit, that'd be great.
Mhm.
Still getting used to the new keyboard. Site visit. Coalition. And I think that's all we need for now. I think at some point, we'll probably will want them to come back to this local commission for another review. Okay, next up is the HVAC updates for the Magnolia Library. Historic preservation, rehab and restoration. Similar size project. Okay, so we did, the library did a project 3 years ago, I think, maybe 4.
Here,
Let's see here. Yeah, that was to replace some windows. They also had originally on that project a couple of other things. I know one was to replace their bulkhead door that goes down to their basement, but they took that off because they figured it had some eligibility issues. They did a great job. So we know the library is historically, has been previously identified as historically significant. I don't know if they've done any additional work since we did that project. So, and I guess we also know that upgrading HVAC systems is eligible as a general rule. We've done it at the library. And maybe elsewhere, yeah. So, any other comments, thoughts?
So this brought up a question to me, if they had done work on it without our money and they didn't follow the Secretary of the Interior standards, does that matter to us? Does that matter to the building's historical significance? And if so, I would imagine that means that you guys would have to look at it again, Bob. But do you know offhand if that is a thing? And I don't know that they did or they didn't, I'm just
Right.
thinking that, I know they had a lot of work to do on it. And,
With the windows, are you referring to the windows or?
the windows and then the bulkhead, and I don't know.
Did they do the bulkhead?
Yeah, did
Is
they?
it still okay?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just it's a question that I have,
Right.
to me, this is eligible, but
Right.
it just makes me think when you get closer, is this something we need to look at, is if they did work that wasn't with our money and they didn't follow the standards, does that affect the historical significance of it?
I have not seen the result of the bulkhead work. Windows,
I mean, I
even
don't
though
know
I'm
if it
over there, I didn't notice the windows being all that much different. I'm not sure what they went in.
Yeah. I suggest we were talking about this briefly on the previous project. To me, a site visit is really appropriate for this one as well.
Right.
And the idea of going back to the historical commission for recertification, we shouldn't bother unless we go to look at it first. Because as you say, radio, I mean, why make them go jump through that hoop? If they haven't done anything with the building in years, and I don't think they have, then they're gonna be fine, and I think the same thing applies here. So.
But
we should get a
to
site visit.
answer that question that I have, does that affect our ability to give them money if indeed they did do work on it, it wasn't compliant?
Yeah, I think that's a CP coalition question, that's on my to-dos as well. So, any other discussion?
Not directly about eligibility, but again, I wish they would get more of their own money.
Yep, well, we'll take that into consideration when we get to our decisions.
When there's interesting choices.
Oh, please.
Indeed.
Good idea.
All right, so, let's see. Do I hear a motion to vote on whether the Magnolia Library HVAC updates project is eligible for CPA funds under the historic preservation category?
Make that motion.
I'm second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? All right, roll call vote. Kate,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jennifer Lee,
Yes,
Matt, yes, Carrie,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
and Sean.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. All right, Rob was the contact when we did their last project. I think it was 3 years ago. Anybody else want to take that on? Kylie Davis is the contact. She was the last time too. She's great.
Good day.
Okay. I won't overburden you, Bob. You're gonna use up your chits pretty fast.
Yeah.
the next one.
Okay. Let's go on to the next one. So the next one is preserving the Virginia Lee Burton papers at the Cape Ann Museum. Historic preservation. This one seems to be pretty clear cut to me. I mean, we have to ask the question, are the Virginia Lee Burton archive papers historically significant? I think I don't need a whole lot of backup to say they are. I don't even think we need to get anybody else's stamp of approval. Um, and there's nothing that's outside of its document restoration that's been covered by the CP Coalition at length. Any other comments?
Comment, just who is Virginia Lee Britton?
Bill?
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't say that
You
out
are
loud.
exposing yourself as a short timer.
I do not know. I did not grow up with her books, and she wrote children's stories.
Have you been to the Cape Ann Museum?
I haven't. I haven't.
You never got out of the Fitzhenry Lane gallery.
No, I didn't.
Well, we'll give you the short version.
Designers?
All the code designers.
Yeah.
Virginia Lee Burton was the founder of a design collective called Polycode Designers, and it was, gosh, 100 years ago, maybe thereabouts, I forget. Predominantly women. They produced an incredible collection of designs that they did block printing of, and she also was a children's author that wrote some phenomenal kids' books. Mike Mulligan and the Steam Shovel, Little Red House, half a dozen other ones.
Steam shovel.
Do you know that one?
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. Now you know
We
who
did.
Virginia was.
I would suggest going to the museum and seeing
Yeah.
the exhibit, because I think. it
They
really-
have an entire exhibit on the Folly Code designers, and it is exceptional.
Here are four.
Oh, wow.
It is,
That's
you
Now,
have.
Bill, in your defense, it is tucked way at the back of the second floor, so it's.
Is it near the federal?
No, it's the, no, it's on the complete opposite side of the
Okay.
museum. Okay, any additional discussion on this one? Yeah. All right, then. Do I hear a motion to vote on whether the Virginia Lee Burton Papers Preservation Project is eligible for CPA funds under the historic category?
Oh my God, we should.
Motion made.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Sean, we're gonna start with you. Sean?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Matt? Yes. Jennifer Lee?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
I would just like to make a comment that what I enjoyed most about being on the CPC is the opportunity to learn about this, about the city of Monson.
I didn't know about the Cape Ann Amateur Radio Association until this year.
Right, yeah.
All right.
Just quickly, while we're on the subject of the Cape Ann Museum, that the downtown campus is closed right now for renovations, but the Cape Ann Green is open, and they've got an excellent exhibit through the end of the month of our local sculptor, Walker Hancock, and photographs of him at work by a photographer named Michael Lafferty. I saw it 2 weekends ago before leaving for vacation, and it closes at the end of March. So if you folks have some time to cruise out there and check it out, I would recommend it.
I'm going on Wednesday. I haven't seen it yet and really want to catch it.
Where is it?
At the Cape Ann Museum.
Oh, the green, okay, that's right.
Up off of Poplar Street.
Jeff Lee, you said you'd like to be the liaison? on
I
that?
would, but would you wanna,
Yes. I
why
want
don't
to.
you do it?
Okay, very good.
Or we can do it together, you haven't done one yet.
Exactly, that'd be great.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay,
I mean, it's little money, but that's good.
wonderful. Great. Onwards. The next application is from our frequent applicant, the Hammond Castle Museum, for further work on the Rose window side organ chambers restoration.
So I think this is eligible because of its historic significance, but I definitely have questions, not perhaps appropriate for tonight, but just to get everybody thinking. One thing they mentioned, other grants, but they're asking for the full amount. So where are the other grants? And where's that going towards? Although the money that we've given them before, I'm curious, where actually probably from last year.
They have not.
Yeah, but I wonder where they are with all of that and how much, how far did that money take them with the restoration of the window? And I think it's a little bit confusing calling this the rose windows, it makes them think
Yes.
of last year, so I think they should reach.
Yes, that side of the
But
building.
it's, yeah, it's just that tower, and I get that, but, and it said they're still waiting on quotes, and I wonder what that means, and how do they get to the 350 if they're waiting on quotes?
I was the liaison last year for that, and when we went on our visit, and you were there and Bob was there as well, when we saw the amount of work that needed to be done, I knew that they'd be coming again to look for additional
Right, and
funding.
I think they'll be coming next year for it as well,
They told us.
Probably into
yeah,
infinity.
well. Yeah. But I think we
And
should do
beyond.
what we can to help them, but,
No, I know,
it needs
it's
to be buttoned up a little more, and we need to get a grasp on what's being spent.
No, I agree with you, you're asking for the full amount, so we can, that discussion for another day, but, I mean, it is a very, significant building to the city of Gloucester, but it is a building that needs a lot of work.
And this is also crucial to restoring the historic building.
Yes,
To Carrie's point, they do mention other grants, and they've always been pretty successful in getting other grants. So it almost, this begs a lot more discussion on a lot of fronts, but that's one of them. And it might just be that this is a placeholder to make sure that they got it for the eligibility. So I don't think we need to discuss it too much further, but we need to do a lot of work before they finish their application. So unless there's further discussion, I suggest we go to vote. All right, do I hear a motion to vote on the eligibility of the Hammond Castle Museum Rose Window Side Organ Chambers Restoration Project as being eligible for CPA funds under the historic preservation category?
I'll make
Bubble second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? All right, Bill, we're gonna start with you this time. Bill?
yes,
Jennifer Lee?
Yes.
Matt, yes. Carrie?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. All right, next up is the Schooner Adventure. Preservation timber. Go ahead.
So smart,
Yeah,
it's so smart.
I have to admit,
I agree.
when I first saw that this one was coming in, I said, this is gonna be a problem because you've got a tie. Just buying lumber is not historically significant, but the way they laid it out, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, it's really. So, they wrote it up in detail, it's available here, I'm not gonna reread it, any additional comments from anyone?
Also, just being able to, I'm hoping they can show people what they're doing, because it's part of the lesson and part of the whole process.
Right.
So I love it. I move.
I love it.
second,
I'll stay on it as well, if I can.
Okay, great. Let's see, who's gonna do, we didn't say who's gonna do the Hammond Castle. Bill did it before,
no, I was gonna pass,
No.
I'm gonna take a new one.
okay,
I mean, I'll take the castle in Schooner.
okay.
I was gonna take the schooner, if you didn't, because I hadn't done that before.
Oh, well, what, if you can. You want to-
But yeah, I'll take the schooner, since I haven't had that one.
I'm gonna put Carrie on, as your sidekick there.
Sure.
Okay, great. Very good. Do I hear a motion, to vote on whether the preservation timber for Schooner Adventure project is eligible for CPA funds under the historic preservation category?
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, a roll call vote. We'll start with me this time. Matt, yes. Jennifer Lee?
yes.
Bill?
Yes,
Kate?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. On to our next project, which is the Universalist Cemetery. Next.
Oh,
And at the Union Church, submitted by Reverend Janet Parsons. So here's our write-up. This first-time applicant, by the way, and again, I differentiate the church from the Meeting House Foundation, who has done several projects with CPA funds. But their projects are separate from the church operations and have been dealing with the buildings and grounds. They've been very careful to make that separation. So
they call this a historic site, and it's on, the church itself is on the National Register, so does that make the cemetery part of that historic site? Like, I feel like it would, but I don't know.
Well, I don't think it would, but, the cemetery, is a very old cemetery, and it's unique. It's got these, they're like tombs, like, I don't know if they use it to store the bodies, because the ground is frozen, but they have these things where the bodies could be
Does it
inside.
abut the church, like, is it right there?
No, it's in an area, it's actually in the block that is bordered by Pine Street, Church Street, and Prospect Street, that block. Actually, I have to say a little bit correctly there, it's actually Columbia Street that runs through that Pine Street, I believe it's actually in that block that's above. It's more closer to Prospect Street.
Okay.
There's a little place to walk through.
So it's not on the church.
I've been in the cemetery, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
Just out of curiosity, I was not there doing that.
But it's not on the church grounds?
Hmm?
It's not on the church grounds?
No, it's not even in that block, it's in the other block.
So then your question is a very valid one. Is that even considered historical?
She let me know that it was in the boundaries of like the Macris Historic District.
See,
I'm sorry, Zoe, could you repeat that?
She says both the church and the cemetery are within the boundaries of the Macris Glow A Historic District
Oh, okay.
and the Central Gloucester Historic District.
that's correct, yeah.
So right where the arrow is, that's where people do
So
it?
this is the church. Bob, where did you say it was? Because here's Gould Court.
Okay, you come up Church Street a little further,
Yeah.
no, the other way.
Oh, sorry.
Let's see, Church Street.
Well, because this
Now-
is middle down here.
Yeah. Well, I went the wrong, you're, go the other way, I'm sorry. Go past Pine, get both.
So this is the back of the building. Is it this?
Yeah, keep on going. Come up Church Street.
He's saying
Go.
it's not-
Oh,
It's way up there,
It's
keep
not
on
on
going.
Church
It's,
oh.
it's what, let's see.
High Street's back there a little ways.
Yeah,
It's in that
here's
area.
Prime right here.
There's an area there that there's not a number on the structure. Just next to 26.
Right there?
Let's see, no, that's not it, no, that's a house.
See where number 18
Go
is?
north, go up the street a little further. All right, see that little block there, that's
Right
next to
here?
19 and also 26 and 23?
Yeah.
That is the area in there, that's open space right in there.
Wow. That's right.
What is 26? Is that A or no?
That looks like a house.
Oh.
Sorry, you get.
I'm very familiar with the area, because that's where I paid when I was a kid.
And what is the cemetery called?
You
University.
You use the cemetery.
And that's, there's like a sign? Is there a sign that says University?
Well, I don't know if there is actually, it's pretty hidden in there. And when I drive up Church Street, I don't notice that there's a sign indicating that it's there, but if you walk in, you will see it. You know it's a cemetery.
So that's a question, is it even historic? And maybe it is, because it's in the
If
district.
it's in the district, I guess it is, right?
The second thing, the other thing that I read, when I read this description, the way I read it was gonna be phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. This is phase 1, which is gonna cost $30,000.
Right.
And this was all about the marking and plotting of the land. So to me, I really didn't think that was historic preservation.
Yeah,
And I looked at phase 2, which was the fixing up the gravestones, et cetera, which was done for the Cemetery Advisory Commission. I said, well, phase 2 probably would be eligible as well as phase 3, but I had doubts about phase 1.
I'm not sure if phase 1 has anything to do with, the documenting what
It
the.
did, it said it's finding out who's
Yeah, it
in
is.
there, so I feel like that's a.
Yeah, that sounds,
Like they're wanting.
Well, let's see, phase 1 will remove unwanted vegetation, survey the boundaries of the property, locate unmarked burials and burial sites where remains have been removed, and create an accurate and updated map of the site.
Right, I think
That sounds-
meaning who's buried there.
I didn't read that into it.
So I guess I did, I took that to mean that they're mapping out who is where.
Yeah,
Locate unmarked burials.
right,
yeah,
that's when we search, we're not to.
right.
So the church owns that property.
Yeah, take a look at this again, Bob, is this, so here's the church right here, this is the backside of the church down here. And this is Pine Street,
Yeah.
is this the area we're talking about?
Yeah, it could be, it could be.
Because this is the, this is the housing, building right here.
Actually, I was incorrect, actually. It's actually across from,
Yeah,
it's actually across from
This is Prospect.
Columbia, actually. I guess it is that, yeah, that is the area. Yeah, I guess it does, it is Pine, between Pine and Prospect. And my original comment was correct. So that is it.
I have no idea what that is.
So what's going on there? I mean, is that whole thing?
A little something.
Mary Boucher, raised her
Member of
hand.
the public raising
Oh.
their hand.
Mary Boucher is raising her hand.
I can allow her to talk.
Can you? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Hi, Mary Ann Boucher, 93 Mount Pleasant Avenue. I just wanted you to know that my husband has been doing some work, actually just finished a job on Church Street. And that cemetery does have a sign, and it's right across the street from number 27 Church Street. And it really needs a lot of help. I've driven up there quite a few times in the last 6 months, and I just wanted to give you that information if you were still confused as to where it is.
That's great. Thank you.
Mary Ann.
So I mean, I guess they would have to.
There it is,
there it is. Boom.
No,
Thank you, Mary.
no, that's not it. No, that's not it. That is the one on Prospect Street, and that is,
No, this is church.
27.
Oh, sorry, you're right, I'm sorry.
that's
Yeah.
Prospect, that's Prospect Street. I know that. And those gravestones were all put together. They were spread out over a lot and moved together.
Did they?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Google Maps is not, well, it's there, so, so let's get back to the discussion of the eligibility on it. Because that's what we got to.
So, yeah, I mean, I
this
think,
evening.
I feel that it's eligible with some questions. I mean, the things that Bill raises, he and I read it differently, which is interesting, so obviously it needs clarification. If it is mapping out the bodies that are there, I feel like that is definitely of historical significance.
Yeah.
I think that's a site, there's on that one, there's a necessity. We're not familiar with it, but I haven't seen it in years.
Right.
And I'm thinking that we'll learn a lot by going and seeing what's
Yeah.
there. And I think that we'll be convinced, based on what I knew from the past, I think we're convinced that
Good.
it has to be information.
And again, I think we should also go to the coalition with this to just differentiate on what's this phase 1 work. I think it's eligible too. I think we should, I would suggest we vote it as eligible, but I think we should get out in front of it with some information from the coalition as well before Janet has to go to a ton of work on the application.
I agree, and I think it's key that, that it's in the historic district, the coalition.
Okay. Any additional discussion?
The landscaping part of it would not be covered. Do we think it could be included
It has to
based
be.
on the purpose?
I think so. I mean, if they're pulling that apart to see what markers are left. And I don't know, I personally do think it is, but I think
Yeah.
it might be something more official.
Well, that could be to preserve the grounds. They have the green landscaping because it has deteriorated so much. There could be some erosion. And, you know, when you talk about the cemetery, the land that it sits on is, especially if it's a cemetery, so when you have to work on the land, obviously, the cemetery. This is a little different than in most projects where, the land actually is separate from the structure. The actual fact is the ground
The
is
ground is.
the historic thing, so I think that would be the exception, yeah, that's my thought.
All right. Any other comments? Do I hear a motion to vote on whether the Universalist Cemetery project is eligible for CPA funds under the historic preservation category?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote. Carrie,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
Bill,
No,
Jennifer Lee,
Yes.
Matt, yes. Motion passes, 6 in favor, 1 against. All right, on to Manship.
I'll take that one.
Oh, sorry, yeah, thank you for that. Two.
Yeah, well, that'd be 3, and I won't do it.
All right, so that you'll make Bill do the work on,
If you need the assistance,
okay,
well, I think we should do a site visit.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, there's 3 that we need. Yeah, site visits really soon, already, and that's, the Ayrshire Radio Building, the Magnolia Library, and the cemetery. I mean, it's great, we should do site visits on all of them.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we need to do sooner rather than later. Okay, Manship, outbuilding restoration. Now, we're all familiar with Manship. We've been there a number of times. Well, you're not. Let's just take a peek at it. So this is the Manship Artist Residence property. It's off of Washington Street in Lanesville. You get to it by going up Leverett Street, and there's 2 quarries that the buildings sit in between. It's the former residence of Paul Manship, the noted sculptor, which is now the Manship Artist Studios and Residence. And we have funded 2 or 3 CPA projects with them.
At least 2,
Yeah, the ones that we funded have done with preservation of the main building, which is this, the residence. And then this building, barn, which was converted into a studio years ago by Manship. This project is to do with the outbuildings, and if you look at the property, there are some smaller buildings in a variety of places. And we can't see any detail on it here, but I just wanted to point out where they were. So let's get back to that. Thoughts?
They're asking for all the money. I don't understand that one.
Again, it's just a vote on eligibility, but they are asking for their entire project funds
So, and maybe I'm reading this wrong again. One of the things they're like, Manship Artist Residency is requesting support from the CPC to return these buildings to their original condition, and so that there'll be 2 more studio spaces available to visiting local artists and residents. So when I read that, I'm not thinking of it as historical preservation. I'm reading it as, we need more studios for our visiting artists, which I understand.
Yep.
That's what struck me in that application, and I cited, that's really not historic preservation.
Right.
Well, I would say it could be historic preservation,
Could be.
and then in that process, it does make it useful. That's part of historic preservation, is to make something functional, in that way it doesn't lose its, as long as something has a use and it's being used, that in itself can serve. When it just sits idle and it's not being used, it has a burden. It falls into disrepair to the point where it's demolition. by neglect, just because it doesn't serve a purpose, so you don't want to bother. So I think to make it useful is part of preservation.
It also indicates studio spaces as one of the past uses. Over time, each of these buildings have served various uses, and studio spaces and storage. So it's possible that one or more of them has been studio. Because it's all from one.
Didn't we spend that money to fix the barn, and is that one of these 4 buildings?
These are much smaller buildings.
So
They're sheds for the most part, as opposed to
It
that.
really depends on.
the trip out there is necessary
I guess you have
for
to-
me to take a look at them.
You have to determine that these outbuildings are really historic.
Yeah,
That's the key to me, Bob.
like, yeah.
The historical commission has has already certified that the mansion residences are historic, but to me, that always was the residence building and the barn, which both are absolutely historically significant.
So these are just sheds.
These are just
And you
sheds.
have to fix 4 of them for $55,000, there's not too much going on there to, a lot more if they're more intricate buildings. Yeah, I have the question.
I think that this might be a matter of rewriting the request. I think that that's the. I'm not gonna use the word flaw, I think that's the. What needs clarification is the actual writing of the request. Because if these sheds or whatever you call them, have been there the whole time. They're probably somewhat historic. And if they lived, I mean, I'm gonna stop trying to interpret something, I don't know all the details of it.
It's a tough one.
But I just think it needs to be rewritten so that it's comprehensive and clear.
So,
But I think rewriting it could make it make more sense for us to go in a positive direction. So because right now, the way it sounds so.
Because that's not much money to do it for, it's 4 meetings. So what's wrong with them and what are you going to do?
Because Joe was saying that it sounded like they were trying to just make it more useful. And are they building the building to preserve it, or are they just trying to expand into the sheds and make more studio space? So I think that is something they need to address. They have to make it so that they have to indicate really is this going to be preservation.
Do you know the sheds?
I have a vague memory of looking at them, but I couldn't tell you.
We didn't look that up enough, that wasn't the issue.
I don't, right, and I don't, I don't know if they're all old. I don't.
That's the question.
Manship bought the property, it was a commercial quarry before he bought it, and we can go back and see when that was. But he built the residence from scratch there, and built the barn from somewhere else. His architect friend who designed the residence was the guy who designed the current West Wing of the White House. So that was why the main buildings were kind of, no-brainer, historically significant standpoint. All right, so
are those outbuildings, are they considered historic as well, or you say you don't know?
We don't.
I don't think we know, so as usual with manship projects, we're gonna have to put off. I'm not going to, I can hold a vote on this, but I think this is a better one to hold off on the vote, because I think we get out there and look at these things and say, no, they're not historically significant, so it's not eligible. The key is, are they old original buildings?
Well, if one of them was the architect's on-site shed, yes, wouldn't you say?
But if
Where
it's
you
from
don't-
the depot, and
Well, the sheds could have been used all that, because they were quarrying.
Just
That's why the
be-
sheds are there, and so that could make them.
That would, it could be historical.
Right, but
They do say that the 4 adjacent buildings to the right of the Manship driveway have been documented with photography since the 1940s.
Oh, where'd you see that?
On the A10.
Application.
Ah, Thank you, Bill.
Very good, Bill.
So you know what? It's right there in front of us. Thank you, Bill. All right, so, I think we've got a lot of questions about this project. I think that just based on that, we can probably hold a vote on eligibility, but I think we're gonna have a lot of, for this to be strong enough to get funding, we've got some ground to cover. All right, any other discussion before we vote on eligibility?
This point also says an analysis of the buildings by the architect has been prepared. So that's interesting. To me, that does indicate you're not from people who've been there for a while.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so,
I move to vote on eligibility. Are we there?
yes, we are. Let me phrase it so it gets the right things in it from a legal standpoint. Do I hear a motion to vote on whether the outbuilding restoration project at Manship Artist Residences Studios is eligible for CPA funds under the historic preservation category?
So moved.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Kate?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Jennifer Lee?
Yes.
Matt? Yes. Carrie?
Yes,
Bob?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Thank you. We are on to,
Who's shepherding this?
shepherding what?
The manship thing. Are you doing?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I always forget that. I'll do it again. Unless anybody else wants to do it, I'm happy to rescind it as well. We want to do it? Jennifer? Go. I'm putting you in.
Yeah. I'll step up.
Good. All right, we get historic and into housing projects now. This is the 272 Washington Street project. By the way, on the overview document, I updated this to say that the applicant is the Planning Office for Urban Affairs with Harbor Light Homes. That's the way that it was submitted. Oh, there it is. If you're not familiar with the Planning Office for Urban Affairs, you should Google them. I took a quick look. They sound like a really interesting organization, and we are familiar with Harbor Light Homes. Discussion.
Could you bring that up? The address, can you bring that address up?
Oh, 272,
Yeah.
Washington.
yeah.
I think this is a
Yeah,
great.
You know where it is.
It's
Corey.
the Golden Living and that became something
From
else.
the Housing Authority.
Lost that
It's
health
like a
care.
block down from Addison Gilbert on Sunset
Okay, yeah.
Street.
Here's Bill, so if you're leaving,
Yes.
if you're going towards Addison Gilbert Hospital on Washington Street,
Yeah,
it's right here, the hospital is here.
There's a
Okay.
little corner store there.
I know where the corner store is.
It's straight up that on the same street.
On the same side.
On the- I think.
Yeah, so there's the corner store right here,
Mhm.
and
And to the right.
it's over here.
Okay, right here.
That looks familiar?
What do the neighbors feel about it?
So what are they doing?
So it has been a nursing home for many, many years. The nursing home went out, they closed it during COVID. And that's,
Making apartments,
written
and
up
they're
here.
making a couple of homes as well.
Fabulous.
I think it's a great use. of
Yeah.
I do know that they had trouble staffing it because of COVID. There's a lot of that type of.
so Bill, the key is right here in the application.
I think.
Yeah.
They're proposing to put 55 rental units in from 30 to 80% of AMI.
Yep.
As well as 7 income restricted homes for sale. So,
It's a lot of housing.
Yeah.
Which we need.
Big project.
How many stories will that be?
Say that again?
How many floors?
Two stories.
3 or 4, I think.
Oh,
it's-
it's two
They're
stories.
probably, I think it's saying what it is.
rental housing is set back behind the townhomes, so the townhomes will be up front, the rental housing is gonna be 3 floors with living space underneath.
Well, the rental housing is- the townhouses are on the little street. And then the big ones are behind them facing Washington.
part of it's facing Washington, but the longest part is the part that's on Mars Street.
Yes, they're like that, so the smaller ends will be towards Washington.
The smaller end, that's correct.
Yeah.
I wonder what the density will be, because I know the lot isn't huge.
Well, sorry, let me get back here. Okay. It's an eligibility vote tonight. It's a very large project. And they're asking us for what, for us, is a large amount of money. To me, this starts to get into the area of whether we should be funding this directly or whether we should move this money to the Affordable Housing Trust and they should.
That's a question I had.
But that's a discussion for another day. I think the first point here is to vote on the consent.
I would point out that they do not need nor expect that much.
Mhm.
It's one of those where they just need something from us.
Yep.
And they might get more out of it if they had it from both of us
So this is.
than only one of us.
Yeah,
That's true.
right, and.
It's another source of funding that they need to get.
You know, the mileage on the money. that-
Matt is right, if we're looking at funding the housing trust going forward at a large amount, then we need to know, are we funding these other projects that we're giving the money that the trust funds are giving money to as well? And it just becomes, in my mind anyway, like who's giving
Right,
how much.
Well,
I
this
see
is,
what you're saying, I understand with the grant process. and all.
Yeah.
It gives them a lot and it's.
I understand.
On the other hand, if we're giving money to this, that means at the same time period, we'll be giving less money.
I don't think so. Personally, no.
the Affordable Housing Trust. Right,
Affordable Housing Trust, we'll not get
Yeah.
as much,
So,
because obviously we won't have.
much as I
Get money.
am looking forward to that conversation, I'd like to stick to the knitting of tonight. Is there any other discussion about whether, or the eligibility for this project? If not, we'll proceed to the vote. Do I hear a motion to vote on the eligibility of the 272 Washington Street project for CPA funds under the community housing category?
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. Let's start with Carrie this time. Carrie,
Yes,
Bob,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
Bill,
yes,
Jennifer Lee.
Yes.
Matt, yes. Motion passes unanimously. On to the Affordable Housing Trust application for $300,000 in CPA funds. I will only add one comment to this. I did speak with Larry Oakes, actually exchanged emails, and I said, just make sure you get an application in so we can continue this discussion through the application process, but this is an eligibility step, don't go into a lot of detail on it, and he certainly followed that. And I did also let him know that what we really want to understand better is to see how their track record is, how their process has evolved, what they've funded, and, you know, get an idea of how the process is going and whether this is a good way for us to continue. To be fair to them, they haven't seen our money yet because we haven't released it yet until the city council votes on our 2024 grants.
so I had all those same questions, but I understand it's for a later time. Do you know if they spent all the ARPA money? Were they able to
I don't.
do that?
my understanding is they did, because they had to spend it by the end of the year.
Right, I knew they had to, I just
And I
wasn't sure.
think, most of the projects they gave money to were projects that we had funded in the past. And they gave additional funding.
I think there were other projects. Only one of them was the same project that we did.
Yeah, they did the wheat,
In the week,
yeah.
But the others were all this, they may have been the same entity, but they were for different reasons, different things.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah.
it is fair to ask them when, at the application.
Yeah.
Level to give an update on where.
Absolutely, and I think that should be the bulk of their presentation to us is, you know, you love your strategy, you put a process in place, how's the process going, what kind of activity do you have? What's your need for our funds, and so forth. All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to vote on whether the Affordable Housing Trust funding project is eligible for CPA funds under the community housing category?
Make a motion.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Kate,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jennifer Lee,
Yes.
Matt, yes, Carrie,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
This is Sean on the.
He's on the planning.
Oh,
Who's doing 272?
Oh, sorry, let's go back and fill in, yes. 272,
I'll do that.
Washington Street.
I'll
Sean,
do that. Yep. Sounds good to me.
great, you're in. And now the Affordable Housing Trust, I would love to stick on that. Carrie, you're gonna come off of it because you loaded up in prior ones. All right, onwards to tenant-based rental assistance and mortgage program from Action Incorporated. Do we need to discuss this at all? It's
I don't
the
think so.
exact same project we funded for 3 years.
do you have any questions about it?
Yeah, do you wanna know anything about it?
No more than what I saw in the application, it's
Okay.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's wonderful to learn more about. It's just, it's a really well-run program and they've done great work.
Anyway, so this is another one where they had clicked preservation and support. Yeah, I think it should be support because preservation isn't really hold true here.
Right.
Yep. Good catch. Okay, do I hear a motion on whether the tenant-based rental assistance program from Action Incorporated is eligible for CPA funds under the community housing category?
I make that motion.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. We'll take a roll call vote. Sean?
Yes.
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Matt, yes. Jennifer Lee?
Yeah,
Bill?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. All right.
Tell me the contact.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
If you need any assistance with it, I did it last year, feel free to ask.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Okey doke, two left. Now we're moving into recreation. First one is for renovating the swimming pool at Camp Spindrift run by the YMCA. They wrote it up pretty clearly, I thought. Any discussion?
I had a question. They refer to it as the only community pool in Gloucester, but is it?
outdoor.
But is it? I mean, it's, and it's saying
Well-
families, children, and seniors. I'm not aware
So-
that anybody can go there.
Right, there's two questions. Are there any other community pools in Gloucester? The answer is no.
Okay, so I'm not even looking at that one.
Second one is,
Is it
what is a community pool? Community pool is usually
To me, that
anybody
means anyone
can
can
go
go
there.
And they actually mentioned children, families, and seniors.
I picked up the same thing, and I said, was eligible, but that's a question we need to ask when they
Right,
come
it's-
for us.
And when we go through our process, as you all know, we can vote on something eligible, but every year when it finally gets to city council, at least one city councilor, I know who it is, and she knows who it is, will ask, so how accessible is this to the citizens of Gloucester? And it's a great question, and I think that it's been very effective, kind of nudging the museum, for example, to expand their free opportunities, and it's been great. It's really been great. So I think that question should come up.
Right, I mean, I lived across the street from the Y camp, I didn't think you could use the pool.
You can't.
Unless you went to the
You're
camp.
right, you have to be a kid and enrolled. Now, maybe, do they answer that through the fact that they use scholarships for children that are not able to afford the tuition in the summer program? But with that, they only have what they have, whatever gifting they receive for that. So again, it doesn't sound like a community pool to me, it doesn't seem like it's open to everyone.
So I wonder if they will entertain things like the YMCA has done with the splash pad at the YMCA, because the CPA gave them money, $200,000, I think,
Yeah.
back in the day, and part of the quid pro quo is that there is free access to that occasionally, even if you're not a member of the YMCA.
Yeah. So do they do that, and maybe they already do that before. It's not
Yeah.
aware.
Can you bring the map up for Jen?
Sure. Oh, where Camp Spindrift is?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sure.
and where this pool is.
So Jennifer, I went there last year with Rob for the first, I've never been there, never been anywhere else either. It's absolutely beautiful piece of property.
I used to go walking around there.
Did you? Yeah. it's
Yeah.
lovely.
All right,
I
so,
used to live across the street on Clover Way.
Like the test we did before?
Yeah.
so if you come off of 128 on Concord
That's where
Street,
Mike wants to live.
Jennifer,
Yeah. That's the best.
that's after Lobster Line, you go that way.
Kind of community.
And if you go to Meager Sheep, you take a right on it.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the road up to Meager Sheep, and you get all the way up to Meager Sheep way up there. Camp Spindrift is right there. And they have a number of buildings, it's a summer camp, then take a pool, you know, it's pretty wooded, so you really.
There's a
can't see.
pool.
Yeah, there's the pool.
Yeah, the pool's in rough shape. for
There's
sure.
some tennis courts and a basketball court. We gave them some money 2 years ago, I think.
I think it's last year.
Last year, for the playground, for the,
Yeah.
like, not the playground.
It's like yeah, it's basically.
It's like a jungle gym area.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And the tent, or, they were gonna have a stage, was gonna be part of it.
That's right.
The stage.
The tennis courts are private organization, for winter.
Yeah, really.
Oh, that's right.
Platform.
Platform's on the center.
Fence from Ames. to
You're right.
Ames and
That's
stuff.
right, exactly.
That's where they came in, yeah.
Yeah, there you're right.
Yeah.
So, well, and just technically, the type of work that they're talking about is eligible under the CPA statute. It's been clarified a couple of times.
Yeah.
For an eligibility vote, it's pretty straightforward. Definitely need a site visit, but not an urgent site visit. I think this one's pretty straightforward.
Yes, they could either do something about really having other people go there, or they can change the wording of their application.
I did wonder, it doesn't have to do with eligibility, but the application makes it sound quite dire. Immediate.
I remember pointing it out to us last year. I don't even know if they used the pool last year, quite honestly. Because, yeah, it looked pretty rough shape. Like we went, I forget the time of year, it wasn't when camp was open and the pool was closed, but it looked pretty.
I wonder when the last time they used the pool.
Is there water on it?
No, I mean, it might have been a little bit, but it wasn't like it was.
Where are they gonna get that much water?
It does sound, completing these repairs will restore.
That's why they're asking for all this money.
Yes, I think they're reskinning it.
Fill the pool.
I think they're reskinning it and,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it was definitely clearly in need of some love.
Yeah. It's a big project. Okay. Eligibility vote. Do I hear a motion on whether the Cape Ann YMCA Camp Spindrift Pool project is eligible for CPA funds under the recreation category?
Second,
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? All right. Gary,
Yes.
Matt, yes. Jennifer Lee.
I'm going to abstain.
No, I was considering that as well, because I'm really confused. No, I think I'd like to get to the next level with it, so, yeah.
Bill,
yes.
Kate,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
6 in favor, 1 abstention, and motion passes. Okay, our last one of the evening.
We're gonna jump Rob on that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Rob and Henry.
Last year was
Rob and Harry.
Harry and Rob. Shall we leave them there?
Yes, since they're not here all the time.
Yeah. 2 years ago, I think. It was up. When was this last
I think
year?
it's last year at the beginning.
This last year.
Oh, you're right. It was just last year. We gave him 75.
And we still haven't got their money yet, and we're considering the next ones. They were on the best day.
Last time we gave it.
Okay, last project, the East Gloucester Open Space Project submitted by the city of Gloucester. So, without getting into too many weeds here, we can certainly talk about it, but let's stick with eligibility first. this is a no-brainer from an eligibility standpoint. It's exactly what the statute calls for outdoor recreation. I shouldn't say exactly. Outdoor recreation covers passive and active. This has all of the above and plenty of stuff, so. I would suggest, let's take a vote on it and then let's chat about it, because I think we're all interested in it. Unless anybody wants to discuss the eligibility any further.
I think it has to be recreation, not open space.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely.
Did they check off open space?
Both, open space and recreation.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you can make a note of that.
Why is that?
So you can, if you're applying for CPA funds, you may have a project that that is eligible under a number of categories. It doesn't behoove you to apply for it under more than one category, but sometimes applicants do because they're not quite sure which one they fit best in. And they may not understand the statute well. This one, open space is for the creation of open space. This is not creating open space. This is creating a recreational asset on existing city-owned property.
If the property had been purchased previously with CPC funding, then we could add into it, but it wasn't, so it's, yeah, open space is not.
All right, do I hear a motion on whether the East Gloucester Open Space project from the city of Gloucester is eligible for CPA funds through the recreation category?
I'll make that motion.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, roll call vote. Bill,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Matt, yes, Jennifer Lee. Yeah. Motion passes unanimously. So would anybody like to chat at all about what will happen with this project?
We're gonna assign someone to it.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So I figured Kate, plus you're on the, so I thought you should be, yeah, I thought you should be in the lead, but I'll go with you, you know? Yeah, well,
Good. Good, I think we're pretty well represented on project contacts.
That's our most expensive project.
yes.
It's our most expensive.
So how would this work, you know, how much, over how many years, and
I think it's
Right.
presumptuous of them.
So, look, this gets beyond our purview to a certain extent. I will, the CPA was founded in Gloucester with the express purpose of funding the first project on the list was the restoration of City Hall. That was done as a $2.6 million project, I think, with a 10-year bond. And that's what we've been paying $200,000 a year against the last payment of which is coming up shortly. The CPA allows for bonding. It's a perfectly valid way to fund projects. I should say some of this is beyond us, but some of it is not. We have to, when we consider this project, we have to do it knowing that if we do in fact recommend $3 million projects, we're gonna have input from the city to say, how are you gonna bond this? And if they're gonna tie up $300,000 of CPA money every year for 10 years or more, that's a pretty significant ask that stops us from funding other projects. I'm not talking about the merits of this project at all, it's just a significant ask. And even if we decided to recommend it, we've had two bonding projects come through the CPA in Gloucester, CPC in Gloucester. One was the original, which was passed.
City Hall.
The other one was an additional work for City Hall, which the CPC recommended and the Budget Finance Committee voted against. And so it never made it to City Hall.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was, I'll have to look it up.
before us.
Before us, yeah.
Yeah, before after me.
And I think, I forget what it was for, but rather than speak incorrectly, I'll find it out and forward it to all of you. I'm sure it was fun, I mean, City Hall needs a lot of work, and they'll likely need work again, so I think we just need to be mindful of the other things that we're tasked to do and that are priorities.
I agree, I feel like that's a third of our budget going forward in the next
Right.
10 years, that's a lot. That's a
Right,
lot. It really restricts us.
And
The Affordable Housing Trust on the other side of it, they would like a third of our money as well, so it seems to.
Well, maybe we can justify this, the sort of reason we had a higher percentage for really 1% now, we have up 3% for our CPA.
It'd be a great reason to increase the incentive that people are paying.
Right.
So,
If we had that, then we would easily,
Because I plugged in as 300,000, just, and I know you had the total there, 4
Yeah.
million.
Yep.
I plugged in as 300 and I added up the requests we have at 1956.
right, you mean if this 3 million, make it 300,000 like this?
Yes, yeah, if we made it like 300,000.
Yeah.
And now we're at 1956 for requested amount of money and carry. Mentioned we're probably a million, if that, this year.
yes.
So it's gonna be, plenty of
and it's, so to your point, I mean, I talked to Nat about this last year, about seeing if we could get together a group of people that might be interested in starting to work towards that. And I had spoken with the mayor, and he was not behind it because of, this is before the teachers strike, but it was because the budget, the school budget and the treatment plan, he felt like those things needed to be addressed before we start looking at increasing CPA money. And I do feel that we should be trying to, and I just spoke with Jim Bell, who was very interested in getting involved with bringing it back and bringing it up. So I think that we could put together a group of people that would be a good, strong group of people to try to get it done. But I don't know, the appropriateness of it right now with all the other budgetary problems we have.
But that doesn't. In my way of thinking now, I get confused about some of this. The money that is for those other things is not the same money, that this comes directly out of the real estate taxes.
So you're saying if we increase it?
If we increase it, it will just come, that wouldn't be
But I
there.
think it's the perception of the citizens of, we have to pay for this,
The citizens would have to vote on it.
they would, right, and they're gonna be thinking we have to pay for this.
I think we have a better chance of going 0.5%, take an increase, 0.5% this time,
Yeah, it's
in
a
the future,
2%, right?
rather than 1% or having 2%. So I think going 0.5% will be a little bit easier for people to, that's right, it could make a big difference for us.
It's a separate discussion.
And it is more like assess.
That's assessing the political viability of whether people will pass that, and I think that's a different discussion.
Right.
Do it at all.
So I would vote to continue with that.
Okay.
Well,
So
this will be an interesting summer.
I do think it's a separate discussion, but to Bill's point, I think it's a valid discussion for now, because if we could get that, I might feel differently about how much we would want to bond, or how much we would want to give.
But that will,
It's not-
that won't impact the decision we have to make.
Right, even if we get it through,
Right, no, you're right.
but we have one of that.
It won't come in, it won't happen right away. Can you point out to me again what the Affordable Housing Trust is up there for?
That's to move $300,000 of CPA money into the Affordable Housing Trust,
Right,
for them to allocate to affordable housing projects.
300.
Mhm.
They only asked for 300?
Yeah.
They asked for 300 last year, we gave them 100.
But see, I had thought we would try to bond them. That we would allocate the money that isn't going into the,
That was a discussion last year as part of it, once it gets going, I think we wanted to see how they do with the money that they're given, what happens. Yeah, I mean, to me, that's a problem for this year, because we do have very significant other, housing projects, 272 Washington Street, and I'm sure they're applying to the Housing Trust. So it becomes kind of like a double dipping situation.
yes.
Last year's discussion, we didn't talk about, where we came to the end of it was they're still getting off their feet with how they're managing their project acquisition, management, and execution. And we said, all right, well, there's no harm in us just reviewing this and approving it every year. If you approve $3 million now and bond it, we're done. We can't unvote that.
Got it. I, that's, see, I needed to talk about it.
Yeah, okay, so just, so there's the breakdowns by category with these applications. Again, as Bill noted, it's almost $2 million in requests, but every year we have more requests than we can handle. I will say one thing, I think, to just wrap this up. The last 2 or 3 years, we've been significantly oversubscribed, and we've addressed that mostly by giving people half or less of what they asked for. I'm not sure that, well, I think we should consider doing that differently. I think we should consider saying no to projects that might be, that they're eligible and they're good projects, but we've got really pressing needs in the city.
Right.
And I don't want to short shrift somebody just because we want to give something to everybody. Food for thought. I'm not suggesting we talk about it now, but over the summer, we will have plenty of opportunities to talk about it.
Oh, I know which one I would kind of.
Did you have a question? Could you?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
there.
I crossed right over you.
No, I was just, in thinking about the understandable discomfort with committing a third of the budget for the next 10 years, but I was wondering if historically, open space has maybe or recreation has gotten less money historically, and therefore.
Yeah.
I mean,
Historically, I'll pull it up later, but historic preservation historically has gotten by far the lion's share of CPA funds in Gloucester. It differs from community to community. I was on the CPC in Acton, and we gave most of our money to open space preservation. And it went back to the people who really petitioned and put energy behind the CPA's adoption there. They were open space advocates, and there was a lot of open space that needed to be tied up out there. So, different strokes at different times. Okay, can we just take a look at these CPA contacts again for these projects? I got them all right here, I think, but if you see any mistakes, shout. The next step on this is, I believe we voted all of these eligible, did we not?
We did.
Yeah, we voted them all eligible. We voted Manship eligible, right?
We did.
Yes, okay. We have immediate outreach on 4. The amateur radio, the library project, the cemetery project, and the Manship project. All of those, we're saying they're eligible, but we want to get to do site visits quickly before they put a ton of work into their application, just in case we say, well, wait a minute, maybe it's not.
So the cemetery was one of those as well.
Yes. Yeah, so the 4 were Cape Ann Amateur, which is radio, Bob, Magnolia Library, Bob, the Universal Cemetery, which is Karen, and Manship, which is Jennifer Lee. So we need to get site visits with all of them as quickly as we can. Next steps, Zoe, typically what will happen now is Zoe will email each of the applicants and say, congratulations, your project's been voted as eligible, you can proceed to the full application, which is due
May 2nd.
May 2nd.
Yeah.
When you write those emails, Zoe, could you copy the CPC contact on each of those?
Yes.
That'd be great. And that, by way of introduction, each of you can get introduced to the applicant. And once Zoe sends it, I would encourage you to reach out immediately, to say, call me if you have any questions about the process. And in those 4 cases, arrange a site visit as quickly as possible.
So sorry, so are you marking us all on those? So we'll know.
So for the city, is it this fella Ed who is doing the application?
Oh, Eric?
It's
Eric.
Yeah.
Eric Kinderly, yeah.
Yes.
Have you had any dealings with
No, we have Mary Ann raising her hand.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Want me to let her talk?
Yeah.
Oh,
Give her a
oh.
call for Texas.
Oh, okay, great. So do you want to reach out to him or do you want to? Okay, yeah.
Hello?
Hi, Marion.
Lori Ann Boucher, 93 Mount Pleasant Avenue. As of yesterday, March 16th, 2016, I have been following the project of East Gloucester Elementary School for 9 years. I don't know if this is the proper time to even discuss this. If it's not, tell me no, and I'll wait till the next meeting. We lost the Charlie Thomas Field at Fuller School. It was supposed to be moved to Beaman. It never got moved. Our children are in, we lost Mados Field when they built the new consolidated school. Our children desperately need the additional space where the East Gloucester School currently sits. This was an Article 97 project. They had to swap the land with Mados Field, and they swapped it for this particular site. They allocated $4.2 million to as a loan order, and 1 million went to the rehab and the rental space at St. Anne's for the children while the project was being done. 1.5 to 2 million went to Green Street for their new playground, softball field, and then 1.2 was allocated for the demolition, grading, and seeding of the East Gloucester site. Unfortunately, it has been so long that prices have increased, and I believe there's only $70,000 left to do the demo, grading, and seeding of that site. I know the mayor went back to the city council and asked for an additional $2 million loan order, and that's just to demo the site. They don't know what they're going to find. And we spent at least 3 meetings with Weston and Sampson, the city, many children. Weston and Sampson presented what this area could be, what kind of a park it could be for the children of Gloucester. And I believe that the children of Gloucester deserve this space. And I'm going to really push for as much as you can in your hearts give to these children so that they can once again have a place that they can be children with nature and trees and grass and enjoyment. My family home is next door to the school and it's all fenced off. So if you go over there, it is all fenced off. I don't know that you will be able to do a site visit. Maybe they'll let you in. I don't know. Because they are starting the abatement now. But our children have really they're sad. Every child in the area is so sad because they feel like they've lost so much. They lost their school. Yes, there is the Lieutenant Arthur Maxwell Parsons Playground, but this is the site that was swapped for Mados Field, and it is supposed to be open space for our community and for our children. And I really hope that the city follows through. I've been to nearly every single meeting there has been since 2016. I have all my notes. So I really am asking that you follow through for the children of our city and do what's right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you allowing me to speak tonight.
Thanks, Maria. We really appreciate your passion for the issue. You know, we would love to support this project. It'll be a challenge. Thank you. Okey doke. So I stopped sharing my screen, but I think we were done with the eligibility applications. Yeah. Any other comments on that? Okay.
Can I ask one question on that, back to the city of Gloucester? Can we, so they're asking for 3 million bonded, can we do, say, 2 million over 10 years? Or is it like the full amount or nothing?
That's gotta come out, well, that's part of the process. The number one piece of the process is how much is this gonna cost overall. They've estimated, what was it?
Or something.
when we get to the point where we have to estimate, we're gonna have to look at that, at the timeframe, and
But
When they
it's a
do it.
question, it's possible to go less than what they're asking for.
yeah, I think we'd wanna make sure that, I wouldn't wanna fund this unless I know it's gonna get built, so, I mean, if they, the number's gonna be the number. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. It'll be an interesting process. Okay,
Whatever we decide, we're making a recommendation to the mayor, and then it has to go to the, Matt's, it has to go to budget and finance, and then it has to go to the full committee.
yeah. Okay,
If they ever get to it.
good. Oops,
What is the latest on when that's, like, I think it was mid-March, was what we last heard? Is that right?
yes. When we'll get to a vote, it all depends on when free cash gets certified, by the state.
So we don't hear any more.
So yeah, I haven't heard anything more since last week, have you?
No date yet.
And do you know what the holdup is?
I'm not sure.
My understanding, and I don't know as well as probably Matt and Zoe, is the state has to approve, right, the final budget for this, the free cash amount for the city of Gloucester. Doesn't the state have to approve it?
Yes.
And.
Yeah, let's not go through all the details of that right now, because I think I know more about that than anybody here, and I know I don't understand it well enough to describe it well. Okay, I think we're done with this piece of the agenda, which moves us on to administrative updates. Okay, first administrative update. CP Coalition, the state has announced that the expected match in 2025 is going to be 15.9%. That's the lowest it's been in a long time. It is what it is. The state has no plans to buttress that this year. So we'll see what happens, but that's a small match. So just wanted to pass that along. Okay, next item I had for administrative updates is, if I can get my mouse to behave itself, there we go. Our active projects update. I asked Zoe to reach out. It's been 3 months, and we try to do this usually every 3 to 6 months, and see where our existing projects, which have been previously approved, are in the pipeline. And Zoe, we don't have to go through each one of these. I'll share this spreadsheet with you, but some things are moving faster than others.
Yeah. 14 Elm Street is finished.
Right,
it's all
which is
set.
down here, right?
Yep, it's down to close.
So that was the Cape Ann Museum, 14 Elm Street. That's great. That was pretty quick. And Young Legends, we were just confirming whether their last $388 could be rescinded.
Yeah.
And we need to vote on that in order to close the project.
Yes.
So I'm gonna make a motion, and then we can discuss if we want. Do I hear a motion to rescind $388 from the Young Legends Street Hockey, Stage 4 Park Street Hockey Rink account back into the general CP funds account for recreation?
Sorry.
Motion made and seconded, discussion. This is just a technical motion. Once projects are closed, they come off the books, the funds are empty. When a project gets finished and then they use all the money, we don't have to take a vote. But if there's money left in the account, we do have to vote to allow the city to move that money out of the project-specific account back to the general recreation account. It goes into the general recreation account, and it can only be used for a recreation project in the future.
Did you see in the paper today, there was a call for players?
I
There was a call for players to come join the Young Legends Street Hockey.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have a busy spring and summer out there. That's great.
Anything update on Bigelow? I see what they
Just a
said.
minute before we do that, let's finish off the vote on the recreation project. No, if there's no further discussion, we'll take a roll call vote on this. Bob?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Matt, yes. Jennifer Lee?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
All right, motion passes unanimously to send the funds back in. So you'll talk with whoever you said, take care of that, thank you. All right, I don't have any other administrative updates. Anybody else got anything? Oh, no, I don't, sorry. I do have one more item of business. Okay, no more administrative. Next meeting, to be determined. So we normally meet the third Monday of each month. I said to be determined because in the past, we've had a quick meeting to vote on eligibility for ones that we pushed to get more information. We don't have that this year. So our next meeting is scheduled, if we just go by the third Monday, that's with 15th, or sorry, you're right, sorry, it's April 21, so that's Tuesday. So April 21 would be the date. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. Okay.
This is Monday after Easter.
Yeah, offices are closed that day for Patriots Day.
Oh, it's Patriots.
Oh, it's Patriots Day. Dang it. Well, we shouldn't do that then, should we?
So the following would be the.
So between now and then, we're gonna have some site visits. We will begin to have applications in place. But we really won't have a lot to do until the applications come in. And then we begin to schedule presentations. I'm fine putting it to the 28th. We could also do it on the 14th. What's today, the 17th?
Yeah.
14th is 4 weeks away.
That's safer for me because that 28th will most likely be the date that we have for the historical commission.
Okay. So why don't we do it the 14th? And on the agenda for the 14th, the big one is, well, it's not a big one. But that's when we vote on officers. And officers for this committee are chair and vice chair, which are currently occupied by myself and Bill.
And we made that a kingship last year. You toured it until you're gone.
We still got to vote on it. I think we need a succession plan. But we'll talk here and there offline about this, but that will be on the agenda. I forget, I know I'm forgetting something else in preparation. Actually, the main thing that we will have to do then is also make our schedules for in-person presentations by the applicants, additional site visits. And since we only have 12 this year, we might be able to get away with having one meeting a month instead of one every 3 weeks.
Right.
In the past, we've had to go to one for 3 weeks to.
I think we have to do it in 3 meetings, but, yeah, 3 meetings, right, June, July, August?
Yeah,
Yeah. We do 4 at a time.
yeah, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right, good, so, June, July, August.
Just want to comment on the election process. Your tenure is until February 27th.
I know
I just know from the committee's viewpoint.
that. Very good.
The next king will be crowned.
Yeah, all right, here we go.
And then he'll be gone. So he's concerned about succession. He's going to need somebody to.
Oh,
That's right,
He'll
so,
only be here for a year.
of next year,
Just 1 year after Diana.
pardon me?
not this, in February 27th.
Yeah, 2 more years.
It's 2 more years.
Oh, 2 more years. We should just keep doing it. I can't have much more time.
Hey, you know what? He's looking like Donald Trump. He's never gonna leave.
Oh, stop it, by your
All
tongue.
right, now, we're getting to the, out of line, stop.
How many terms is it?
Jennifer, you also are.
How many terms?
I must be almost done.
Yeah,
Huh?
How many terms?
2
2 3-year terms.
2 3-year terms.
yeah, Bob, you're
What am I doing?
you're done next year. This is your last year.
Oh.
So we're gonna need somebody else with historical.
I'm ready for the break. Yeah. But I'll make sure.
I went on
So-
forever because
so,
I took up somebody else's term.
That's right. Without any further,
I actually put it almost 3 years ago.
without any further ado, do I hear a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
I make a motion. to close the meeting.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. That's, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
When we're here. Is your name stuff?